afternoon, and welcome to Dialogue with Deidre. I'm your host, Deidre Malone. Welcome back to the Carter Malone Network. Jesse Johnson is somebody I've known for years. Jesse, have you ever been on Dialogue with Deidre?
Yes, this is my second time, Deidre.
Oh, my goodness. And Father Stephan Brown, this is your second
my
time,
second
too.
time, yes, ma'am.
Well, look, I'm so happy to have you both back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look, and it's a very important topic that we're going to be discussing today. What's going on with St. Augustine?
We are celebrating, Deidre, 90 years as a Black Catholic faith community in Memphis, Tennessee.
That's
Amen.
amazing. And then there's a 40th anniversary celebration as well.
Yes, I'm celebrating 40 years of vows as a Divine Word missionary. I was 22 years old when I took my first vows in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Sunday, the 23rd, it marks the day 40 years ago.
Oh, my goodness. Two big major celebrations.
Yes, and we're so excited.
Look, St. Augustine traces back its roots to 1937, right, when it was established. And it was located at 903 Walker Avenue to serve Black Catholics. And its history is just steeped in the civil rights movement, right? So let's go ahead. I want to talk about the history first, if you're comfortable
Deidre,
with
before
that.
you get into the history, I'd like to share with you the theme for this year's
What is the
celebration.
theme?
The theme is remembering the past, embracing the future, embracing the present, and stepping boldly into the future.
Stepping boldly.
Stepping boldly, that's me.
I love it. Yes, it is
Stepping
you.
boldly, kicking out and making our presence known in the future.
So you want to pay attention to what happened in the past.
Right, exactly.
And deal with the present, but it's really about the future.
Right.
Okay.
You are exactly right. I share with people all the time. We stand on broad shoulders as members of St. Augustine. Our members of the past, and I say of the past, but our ancestors, they were bold. They were strong people, and they made a mark in South Memphis as Black Catholics.
Right.
When it wasn't popular to be Black, let alone be Black and Catholic.
Yeah, that was two strikes against you.
It was just not
in the
popular.
South.
Right.
So, and then now we are embracing the present because we're proud that we have survived. We survived Jim Crow. We survived the Civil Rights Movement. We survived COVID. We've survived all of that, and we're still standing strong. And with that pride, we're stepping boldly into the future. We're celebrating the 90th now, but we're looking forward to that centennial celebration.
So, but Jesse, now you're chairing this celebration, this 90th anniversary celebration.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And so when you think about this milestone, what does it mean to you personally?
To me personally, as a person that was Catholic, and I say that loosely as being Catholic.
Because I thought he was Baptist at one point, Father
What?
Stephan.
Oh,
I knew his grandmother. His grandmother taught my son Sunday school at my church. But okay, I digress. Okay.
I've got a rich Catholic heritage, but I've also got a rich Baptist
Yes, you
heritage.
do.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with strong grandparents that took me to church with them on Sundays, but my parents didn't always feel like getting up going to church on Sunday. So I've got the best of two worlds, really, with this. So it is very personal for me to make sure that we celebrate this, and we celebrate this milestone with pride. Because when you look back, so many other churches, and especially Black Catholic churches, when I visit other dioceses and whatnot, they're merging churches, they're closing Black Catholic churches, but St. Augustine stands strong. And they better not try to close us because they're going to have a fight on their hands.
Father Stephan, what do you think, like personally? You've been in this market now, almost 3 years?
Yes, here in Memphis. I've been
here
in
in
Memphis
Memphis.
for 3 years, yes.
Here in Memphis, 3 years. And so what does this feel like for you?
It has been very exciting, informative. I've learned a lot. And what I want to first emphasize as you go back to that history, that in 1937, and being from Cleveland, Ohio, born, and not really understanding what it was like to live in a segregated South. And being, my father was a doctor, Cleveland Clinic, cardiovascular physiologist, cardiologist. My mother was a linguist, teacher, Spanish and French. I didn't grow up really experience a lot of what we would call segregation.
Right.
St. Augustine, in 1937, this This is before the civil rights movement began. This is before Rosa Parks was too tired to give up her seat. In 1937, Jim Crow, the separate but equal, which we know was not equal,
Right.
was the law. And here you had missionaries, priests from the Franciscan order, sisters from the Blessed Virgin Mary order, walking the neighborhood, knocking on doors, and building a school, recognizing that the way out of poverty and the way out of this unequal segregation and degradation of African Americans was through education and faith.
Yes.
Right.
And faith.
Faith.
And so no longer did they have to have the leftovers from the city schools, but rather a school building, desks, books, uniforms, equipment, sporting equipment was not a hand-me-down. It was all brand new, and they went door to door and invited parents to send their kids to the school. And remember, they're not Catholic yet.
Oh yeah. So they're
Remember,
they're
they're not
coming
Catholic
to
yet.
the schools to
They're
be
coming
educated.
educated.
Okay. Yes.
And they're the opportunity to have a better education
Right.
than that they would have in the Jim Crow schools. So that was the first piece. And of course, the priest was not welcomed by city officials and was harassed by the police and said that he was disturbing the peace. Well, he was disturbing the Jim Crow peace.
Right. Right.
The peace and the PIECE peace. That he said, we're going to change this. And so they did it through education and through faith.
That's amazing.
Deidre, I say all the time, black by birth, Catholic by the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
So, Jesse, let me just say, St. Augustine was created to serve black Catholics here in Memphis during a time where everything was segregated. How important is that history to understanding the church today?
It's very important to understand in the church today, because although we've come a long way, that road is still long in front of us.
Okay.
We've got a long ways to go. And let me remind you, Deidre, we opened St. Augustine in 1937, but they closed it and merged us with St. Thomas.
Oh.
And
was that a predominantly white church?
that was a predominantly
Okay.
white church. Right.
So-
Okay.
They closed St. Augustine and merged us with St. Thomas. And through that merger, we reclaimed our black heritage and black pride. And we built St. Augustine Church at 1169 Kerr, adjacent to Father Bertrand's school at the time. It opened in 1989.
Oh, my
That was
goodness.
a glorious day.
And I know so many students that have gone through that school.
But as Jesse is speaking to that, I have to mention my mentor and one who put me in the seminary, and that was the late Archbishop James Patterson Like, who served as pastor. So when Martin Luther King Jr. was killed on April 4th, 1968, then Father Like was a really new priest serving at Padua High School in Cleveland, Ohio, or Padua High School in Parma, Ohio, right next to Cleveland. And he was actually serving in what was then Cleveland segregated. That was the white side of the city. That was a Polish community where he, as an African American, was teaching as a Franciscan friar. So when Martin Luther King was assassinated, he requested to be transferred to the mission here at St. Augustine, or at that, well, St. Thomas
St.
was
Thomas.
the church.
Okay.
At St. Thomas in 1968. And it was he who brought the Afrocentric focus to celebrate our African American culture, just like many other cultures do. The Polish, the Irish, the Italians, many cultures in the church celebrate their heritage.
Right.
And so he brought into the church African American spirituality, gospel choir, red, black, and green vestments, red, white, and green pillars, black saints into St. Thomas Church.
So, Father Stephan, where do you think that came from? Do you think it came from the fact that he was moved by what happened in the South with the assassination of Dr. King, or do you think it was something earlier?
I think that, I mean, I met Bishop Light when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I always knew him as an advocate for celebrating and reclaiming our African American heritage.
Okay.
Very much
Before he went to Cleveland as a bishop, after he was here in Memphis, he did a short 2 years in campus ministry at Grambling University, and where he did his PhD. And it was, I think, innate in him to recognize his own identity and the value of who he was as an African American in a country and in a church that was racist.
Okay.
Bishop Light was very proud of his blackness. Very proud of his blackness.
Okay.
And it's interesting that we asked
So
this
he
question.
was African American.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thought he was
Absolutely.
okay.
From Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, my homeboy.
Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was interesting you asked that question because in my own meditation and prayer this morning, I sort of had a vision of St. John Paul II, who told us in 1999 in St. Louis that racism is the original sin of America. And I stood up in his mass, 100,000 people, and I shouted, "Amen."
Man.
And then later for communion, they tapped me and had me go receive communion from the Pope and give out communion to the bishops.
But you needed to say amen.
But and Bishop Light was the one that moved in this community to claim their blackness. They were already marching.
Right.
I think of Grace Meacham. You know, I think of Mr. Charlie Todd. I think of the many members of our church who were involved in the civil rights movement. But Jim Light embraced it after Martin was killed. Then Jim came.
So that's a great transition.
Father Light came.
That's a great transition, Father, to what role did the parish play, its clergy and its members play during that period, specifically the civil rights movement?
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, my mother talks about it now. It was not St. Thomas that she ran to, but she talks to marching downtown, and they found refuge in St. Patrick's Catholic Church.
Okay.
When they were being sprayed with pepper spray, when they were being sprayed by the fire hoses and whatnot, the priests and the nuns of St. Patrick's provided a safe place for them to go to get away from that inhumane treatment during the civil rights movement. Like Father Stephan said, that Grace Meacham, and I think of quite a few others that were involved with that. Both Catholic, Baptist, you know, all of the students at Lemoyne at that time, or they had finished Lemoyne at that time, but they were all a part of that. And they found refuge in the Catholic Church because that was the only safe place they could go to.
Do you believe St. Augustine's history of social justice continues to influence congregations' responsibility to speak out on issues affecting the community today?
It does. We have an organization within St. Augustine, the Knights of Peter Claver, and they are very involved right now with voting rights. Behind all of the redistricting and whatnot, they did a survey. As a matter of fact, they're still conducting that survey to find out why people don't want to go vote. What's causing voter suppression?
Yeah.
Because we want to help to break down those barriers. We're taking people to the polls to vote. We're getting them registered to vote. And they're very active in what is modern day civil rights issues at this point. Because voting is a big part of it right now.
Right. And, you know, the roles right now, you know, there's so many people who are registered to vote, but the real issue is getting them out to vote. And so is that a part of their mission?
Getting them excited to vote.
Yes.
That's
what
good.
we're trying to do.
And that's what we've been trying to
That's
do
good.
at St. Augustine.
It's
in
not
our
just
preaching and our
registering them,
teaching.
like you said.
Yeah.
It's getting them to the polls and vote. I can be registered, but I'm still a part of the problem if I'm not going to vote. So,
Right, exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay. So when we celebrate 90 years, right, we're really celebrating people.
We are.
Who are some of the priests, religious sisters, parishioners, and community leaders whose contributions should be remembered as you celebrate 90 years?
Well, you know, Father's already mentioned some of them.
Yes, he
You know,
has.
Father Bertrand Cope. We've got all of the nuns that were there, the sisters of the Blessed Virgin Mary. We've got the Franciscan priests that were there, the Franciscan brothers that were there. We've got the Paulists that were there for a very short period. The Josephites, who were even at St. Anthony's, Catholic Church that we have not mentioned because they are very much a part of this celebration too. They were the first Black Catholic Church, and they were down at Concord and Mill where St. Jude Hospital sits now.
Okay.
So
And let's not forget the Divine Word Missionary.
I'm getting to them. They're more recent. Right, exactly. But then we've had the Divine Word Missionaries. So we've had quite a few. But then when you talk about families, Father has mentioned Grace Meacham.
Yes.
We have to mention the Turners, Jesse Turner and his family. You know, we have the Gilmores. We have all sorts of families. And I hate to name them because if I leave somebody out,
you know you're going to get in
somebody's
trouble.
going to get mad at us. But we've got families throughout that church that are long-running families in that church that have contributed and that are still contributing to the betterment of the church and to the civil rights movement.
That's awesome. So let's move forward. Many churches across the country are working to engage younger generations. Has St. Augustine moved in that direction to try and get young people involved in the Catholic faith?
I actually have to give my pastor credit. I will think back to 5 years ago. Yeah. If you asked for the youth of the church to come up, maybe one or two would go up. But now every Sunday during the Lord's Prayer, he calls all of the children to the altar. And we have 20, 30 kids. And not just small kids, teenagers. You know, we've got babies that are coming. Babies run up to him because they want him to pick them up and hold them during the time. So we have seen a surge over the past year or two of young people coming back to the church. But you got to understand, it's not a matter of just coming back to the church. We've got to meet the young people where they are.
Exactly.
We can't continue to do things the way we've always done them, okay? So we've got to think outside of the box, and we've got to meet those young people where they are. We've got to give them something to come to church for, be it the music, be it the video screens around the church that are creating excitement for those kids. Kids learn now by video boards. You go to schools and that's all you see in the classroom,
right?
Because that's how they're learning. I know they keep saying we need to cut screen time down, but that's how kids learn.
They're very
at this
visual,
point.
absolutely.
So we have got to rethink the way we do church. And I said that purposely, the way we do church. Because if we continue to sit there with our hands in our laps and singing the same old songs, the kids are going to go where they're doing what they really want to see done.
Exactly.
So I know, Father Stephan, when you came, you talked about how important it was to get the community back in. Has there been a concerted effort?
We have been working very hard. The first year, we had a basketball program, 2 weeks basketball program. In the second year, we had basketball and we had a vacation Bible school. We had a very small one this year, but we've been doing that. One of the big ways that we're impacting the young people is through our community outreach, our social outreach committee, headed by Monty Flowers.
Yeah. We love Monty.
We have
Monty.
He provides with the parishioners school supplies. So we have school supply drive right now. In addition, we are also doing an honors program where we put on a luncheon. We invite the children who have been on the honor roll at Hamilton Elementary School. They receive an award, and it's an opportunity for us to bring them onto our campus and to engage them and to value them and to affirm them, both the children as well as the parents. Mm-hmm. Children succeed when they have their parents and guardians behind them, supporting them for them to excel. And so I think that those are very important programs that we have in the parish. And maybe we can do some other new things. I know that the Ladies Auxiliary of St. Peter Claver do tutoring. They actually go to the school and they do tutoring at Hamilton Elementary with the children. I mean, I've got great visions and great ideas. I'd like to see us, and I mentioned this earlier, I spoke about wanting to have a high school again for boys. I know it's a big vision, but some would support it, some not. But I think the idea is that we have to find creative new ways to reach the young people in our community and give, like Father Bertrand did, that gift of highly excellent Catholic education, because there are no Catholic schools in our community. The closest one would be St. Paul's, which is
that
Whitehaven.
That's
Whitehaven.
Whitehaven.
Okay.
Shelby Drive.
Okay.
and I realized that the parish and the diocese cannot do it.
Right.
But I've had some conversations with an organization called Crystal Ray. I met with the superintendent, Chris Frey, and just discussed with him about the possibility, at least investigating.
Right.
Could it be? Is it feasible?
Right.
Is all I've asked. Is it
Because
feasible?
the only high school in that area where the church is Hamilton.
Right.
Hamilton.
Right. And Hamilton,
Hamilton,
is it now a charter school?
No, Hamilton's public school.
It is
Right.
still public.
It's
It's
still
not
Memphis Shelby.
The charter
still-
school
okay.
is the Compass School.
Okay, Compass.
Which is
Memphis Catholic.
the old Memphis campus,
Okay.
Right.
and they're doing well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's one aspect of it that's missing, and that's faith.
Faith. The faith
Not allowed to be
piece.
taught.
Right.
But I've been told that they're excellent programs. They're doing well, and I don't know if my dream is possible. But I'd like to
Talk
at least
about it.
try.
Keep talking. Absolutely, Father.
and-
Keep
and look
talking
at
about
it.
it. I think about is it Pure Academy?
Uh-huh.
They're doing it. So I don't know why.
Dr. Terrell. Dr. Terrell told me about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great program.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Crystal Ray program is an internship program where
Okay.
the kids would go to school 4 days a week and
Right.
1 day internship in a business or a corporation.
That gets them ready
And so that's
for the
where
real life, real
Right.
world.
real life. So when they leave, almost 99% graduation rate and college rate, and then after college they have a place to go to work.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
But that's a big vision. We just want to look to the feasibility. Is it possible?
Yeah, keep talking about it, Father. 90 years from now, when people celebrate St. Augustine's 180th anniversary, what do you hope they will say about what this generation has been able to accomplish?
I think they will be able to talk about the even broader shoulders that they're standing on, because you got our ancestors now, and then we'll be ancestors at that point. So I think they're broader shoulders, but they'll talk about the vision
Exactly.
that we have put in place to continue our rich heritage and legacy.
Love it. Same thing? That's
Yes,
what you're
that's
thinking?
the vision and the hope.
Yeah.
The hope that we held on to.
Okay, so talk about the event.
Well,
That's
Deidre,
happening Saturday.
It's a big event. We're actually celebrating for 2 years. I want you to know that.
Wow, okay.
We're kicking it off on our 89th, and
Okay.
we will end our celebration on our 91st. So we've got some big and bold plans. Once again, we're stepping boldly into the future. We're kicking it off with our 90-40 banquet Saturday night.
Okay.
Where we're kicking
who's-
off the 90th anniversary.
And who's emceeing it?
I believe my very good friend and sister, Deidre Malone, is emceeing it.
Oh, my
Deidre, you
goodness!
see, they have kept everything from the pastor. Okay, they've told the pastor nothing except to be there at 6 o'clock after Mass.
Right.
Well,
So I didn't even
mean,
know you were going to be the
Let me
MC.
just say, but you're celebrating a big day for you too.
Right.
So maybe they should just keep everything for you,
Oh,
so you can be surprised.
They have kept everything. This is the first I've heard of this. Everything has been kept a surprise.
But Deidre is emceeing it Saturday night. We're going to have a good time, good food. We're going to have a nice little short program, and we're going to celebrate.
We're
Because
gonna
we
dance
got
a
a
little
lot
bit.
to celebrate. We'll dance a little
dance
bit.
a little
We
bit.
have a
Ooh, I love
DJ
it.
for afterwards. So we're going to have a good time. I'm going to send them home early because they got to be back at church
Yes,
Sunday
and the
morning.
pastor has to preach.
Right.
Pastor needs to be ready for
Right,
Sunday.
exactly. 10 o'clock, we're going to have our regular Mass, but it's going to be a high Mass. It's going to be a great Mass. And immediately following that, we're going to have our annual parish picnic, but it's our parish and community picnic because we want everybody from the community to come out and join us. It's going to be on the church grounds, so you don't have to ask, well, where is it? Do I need a map to get there? 1169 Kerr Avenue, the big church on the hill. Okay?
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, we're gonna have a good time, and then after that, we're bringing the alumni of all the schools together: St. Anthony School, St. Augustine, Father Bertrand, Memphis Catholic, all of the schools that were a part of St. Augustine. We're bringing them together to discuss getting the alumni more involved.
Okay.
In the month of October, we're gonna pray 90 rosaries. As Catholics, we pray rosaries. We're gonna pray 90 rosaries in honor of our 90th anniversary as a community. We got cards so people can track every time they pray that rosary. So it's going to be a good time. Now, we believe in having fun at St. Augustine, Deidre.
Yes.
So in November, we're going to go to Nashville and we're going to do a little shopping, and we're going to sneak off to the Uncle Nearest Distillery and take that tour too. So we're going to have our fun while we're doing that. But that's also National Black Catholic History Month.
I love it.
So we're going to set up a display in the church so people can see, because not everybody knows the history. So we're going to have pictures and all that kind of stuff set up in the church so they can actually see from whence we came and why we're celebrating.
So, Jesse, are tickets still available for
the banquet is sold out.
Oh my goodness.
Sold out.
We don't have another seat for the banquet. It was our goal to have 200 people at that banquet, and we actually have 216. So
That is amazing. Congratulations.
So we don't have another table. I've ordered tables. I don't have any more tables. I don't have any more seats. So
That's
I hate
a blessing.
to. Right,
That is
is
a blessing.
God is blessing this whole
Yes.
thing.
Amen.
So, and then in December, Deidre, we're going to have breakfast. It's not breakfast. We had to change it. Cookies with Santa.
Okay.
So the kids can come out and take, and the bigger kids too come out and take pictures with Santa and have cookies and hot chocolate, and they get to hang out with him. And then we're going to honor our seniors. Our church has a very seasoned, I can't use the other word I normally use.
It's
So
seasoned.
a very seasoned population.
That wisdom
So
community.
all of the people 80 years old and older, we're going to invite them in for a special mass. We're going to serve lunch, and then we're going to share a holiday gift with them to let them know that we still love them and they are still a part of our community. Some of them make it to church regularly. Some of them can't make it to church regularly. So we're making arrangements to go pick them up, to assist them to get in there so we can celebrate them all. So that's our opportunity to say thank you. Now, we're releasing our calendar in 6-month
Okay.
batches so we don't overwhelm people, and so we don't overwhelm the committee either, because that committee has worked hard.
I need you to name the committee so
and
they
when
won't be upset when you
I'm not
they
going
see
to
the
name them
show.
because I don't have the roster in front of me, but the committee
I'm
members
sorry.
know who they are.
Okay.
So, and they are working hard. But I can tell you, in the next 6 months, we're going to have a revival and healing service in March.
Father Anthony Bozeman.
Father
has
Anthony
agreed to
Bozeman is
come.
coming
That's
to do
wonderful.
that. For those of you all that know Father Bozeman, as a matter of fact, your mother knows Father Bozeman. She's crazy about it. But we're also going to go visit the Obama Presidential Center in May.
In Chicago. I love it.
Right, exactly. And we got great things planned throughout. And then in the spring of 2028, we're going to take an international tour. We're looking at 3 places. I'm not going to say right now. The committee's still mulling over the itineraries and whatnot, but we will be able to announce that soon so people can start making payments on it, because that's not a cheap endeavor.
Right.
But in addition to those things, we're going to have a health fair in the gym so people can come out, because we got to keep each other healthy.
Yes, that's
That's
important.
very important. And there are going to be different activities. We polled the people in the church when we first kicked this committee off to see what it was they wanted to do to celebrate their 90th anniversary. So we've got a list of activities, and we're pulling from that list. We're going to try to do as many of them as possible. So we're very excited about what's to come over the next 2 years.
Well, it sounds so exciting.
It is. It's going to be a great time for everybody involved.
So we've got to wrap this up. We're at 30 minutes, but I want to end the show by asking you both this one question. I want you to complete this sentence for me. St. Augustine Catholic Church matters to Memphis because
we are strong Black Catholic community leaders that believe in the community, and we want to make a difference in our community.
Beautiful.
St. Augustine Catholic Church matters to Memphis, in the words of Mayor Wharton, because we are the last leaf on the tree.
Yes.
St. Augustine is there to bring hope to a community that for decades has felt hopeless. I was told that when I came in, I need to move at the pace that they're accustomed to. As I look around the south side of Memphis, it hasn't moved. It hasn't changed. It's time for us to be that last leaf on the tree that brings new life and new hope to the south side of Memphis.
This has been a beautiful show and a beautiful discussion. And happy 90th anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
St.
Deidre.
Augustine.
Thank you.
And thank you for the surprise. I look forward to seeing you
I'll see you on Saturday night. Yo, thank you for watching Dialogue with Deidre. This has been wonderful. My good friend Jesse, my good friend Father Stephan. Thank you for watching Dialogue with Deidre. We'll see you next time.